So we have a collection. Yesterday we discussed list collection and their hierarchy, array list and linked list also we discussed. And today we'll discuss set collection and what are the classes. We'll see that set collection inside. And also before that, linked list we have seen. Then there are a lot of methods are there in the linked list also. So let's see. So there are a few other classes. Vector class. So what is vector class? So vector is used a dynamic array to store the data elements. It is similar to array list, but it is synchronized. Both are not synchronized, but these are synchronized. So vector contains many methods that are not part of the collection framework, but just understand what is vector. So that's enough for us. Stack. So another very important one. The stack is the subclass of vector. That means stack is the subclass and vector is the parent class. It implements the last in first out data structure, that is called stack. The stack contains all of the methods of vector class and also provides its methods like boolean push, boolean peek, boolean so peek and push. Pop is there one more, so pop also there. So these are the methods will be used to get the data from the data structure. A very important concept stack, but we won't use much this one in the Selenium. Next Q1. So Q interface maintains the first in first order. It can be defined as an ordered list. It is used to hold the elements which are about to be processed. So there are various classes like priority queue, DQ, and array DQ, which implements the queue interface. So these are the various classes: priority queue to array DQ. So DQ is implemented in array DQ, and priority queue is implementing this queue interface. That's what we have seen in the hierarchy of collection. That's the first interview question. Can you explain hierarchy of collection interfaces, collection framework? Then you need to tell iterable, collection, list, DQ, queue, set, and then list is implemented by array list, linked list, vector, and stack. But whereas set is implemented by hash set, linked hash set, and tree set. So DQ is implemented by linked list and also array DQ. So these are the hierarchy you need to explain. Then they will ask you what is list. List is a sub interface which contains all the methods based on the index. You can get the value from the collection, list collection. You can insert the element based on the index. You can delete the element based on the index. That's index based methods are provided by list collection. So list is extending into collection interface, and list is implemented in the array list class, linked list class, and vector classes. So all these three classes implementing the list interface. So that's you need to explain. And list contains duplicate elements. It is going to return ordered collection to you. That's what the flow has to go like that. You explain the points, few points. Then they will ask you array list and linked list differences, and just give some points about array list and linked list. So now here is the one. So I'm discussing, and it's coming difference between array list and linked list. Array list and linked list both implements the list interface, maintains the insertion order. Both are non-synchronized classes. However, there are many differences between array list and linked list. So let me separate them. Array list and linked list differences. Array list internally uses dynamic array to store the elements. Array list internally uses a dynamic array to store the elements. Basically, collection main importance is storing the elements. That's the main motto of a collection. Dynamic elements you can store. They're not fixed elements. So, and another one is linked list also stores the elements, but it uses a singly linked list or doubly linked list. So what are the concept it uses? And in the array list, manipulation with array list is slow because internally uses an array. Again, array list uses array concept. If any element is removed from the array, all the bits are shifted in memory. So that's why manipulation is slow. Manipulation with linked list is faster than array list because it uses a doubly linked list. So no bit shifting is required in memory. So that's the reason manipulation is very fast with the linked list. So array list class can act as a list only because it implements the list only. Linked list class can act as a list and queue also because linked list implements the list and dequeue interfaces. So both interfaces are implemented in the linked list class. So array list is better for storing and accessing data. Linked list is better for manipulating the data. So that's the difference between array list and linked list. Please focus on these differences. Theoretical wise, they will ask all this. Next, generics versus non-generics collection. So you can create a generic collection and non-generic collection also. What is meant by this? Generics. And generics in the collection framework will allow you to have only one type of object in the collection. Otherwise, you can store any kind of data. Otherwise, array will allow you only one type of data, right? But here in the collection, any type of object you can store in the collection. But I want to have only one type of object in the collection. Then how can you store it? So nowadays that type safe, so typecasting is not required at runtime if you make the generic your collection. So make the collection as a generic so that you don't need to do a typecasting. Otherwise, if different objects you are storing and while accessing, it might again to ask you for typecasting. You will get a type mismatch errors. So all this you can avoid. So then how you will create a generic and non-generic collections? So this is the one. The first one is array list, AL equal to new array list, parenthesis, semicolon. This is the non-generic. That means you are not specifying any data type here. This is called non-generic format. So array list collection. So now AL is the collection name. This is the collection name. So this collection name is non-generic now. So I can create a collection with generic format. So what is the format, generic format? Array list. So Angular braces, string. So not only string, any data type in the Angular braces you have to place. Left side, your collection type after in the Angular braces, you write the data type. Which data type elements you want to store in the collection. Then collection name, you just give the collection name variable equal to new array list. Again on the right side also, you have to write in the Angular braces inside a data type. But here I'm creating a string type data in this collection, which contains all the string data. So in generic collection, we specify the type in Angular braces. So what is the type? Values or elements or objects you need in the collection. That's what is this data type is telling. So what is this collection data type now? String. Then what is the data type in this collection here? It's an object. If you don't specify any data type, so this collection data type will be an object. Object is the data type for this non-generic format. Here, this collection data type I specified as a string. How can you tell your collection data type? In the Angular braces, they will mention the data type. So that is called generics, we call this. So why do you need generics? So it will allow you to have only one type of object in the collection. Instead of different objects, you can have only one type, so that you don't need a typecasting at runtime. It's a type safe if you follow the generics. And suppose here now ArrayList is forced to have only specified type of objects. Once you place the data type in the angular braces in both left hand and right hand side, if you try to add another type of object into this collection, suppose we specified here a string, right? Other than string, if you specify or add any element to this collection, it will throw compile time error. It's not allowed. That's the main objective of this generics. So generics is a very important. You can have any type of data. So some of the examples in the WebDriver and Selenium we are using. So some WebDriver plural methods will return a value list type collection. List angular braces data type collection name variable. You can specify collection name variable. That means this method is going to fetch data for you and copies in this collection variable. And all the elements in this collection is this data type elements. And a non-generic format you can create. So list collection name equal to new array list. So you know, right, how to call one interface and that implemented classes. So this is the one, collection name list interface, that interface collection name equal to new array list. This is the non-generic. We didn't specify any data type here. So the data type here is object. If you don't specify any data type, the data type will be object for that collection. So list angular braces data type collection name equal to new array list and angular braces data type. Now here is the generic format. What is the difference between this line and this line? So the left side I specified my data type in the angular braces, both left hand and right hand side. But here we didn't specify any data type. That's a difference. So same way as a set collection also. Set data type collection name equal to WebDriver plural methods. And set data type collection name equal to new implementing class angular braces data type parenthesis. So set data type collection name equal to new hash set or linked hash set or a tree set, and you can specify the data type in the angular braces. So this is the how we can specify collections with the generics. So generics, how can you specify? Left hand side your collection type, after put a angular braces inside, you write the data type, what data type elements you want in your collection, then write the collection name equal to new class name. So which class is implementing that interface, that class you create object, so that logic you will get it. So which class logic you want, so for that class you create object, then automatically that class will come, that class logic will come for you. So this is the runtime polymorphism also we call this, right? Interface and that implementing class. Here also interface and that implementing class object always. So left side the interface name and that variable, and the right side which class object you want, for that class you create object. So that's a generic. Next, set interface. A set is a sub interface of collection interface. Set extends to collection interface. So this set also available in java.util package. All collection things are available in java.util package. So set extends the collection interface. It represents the unordered set of elements which doesn't allow us to store duplicate elements. So basically list allows duplicate elements. List is an ordered collection, it will return to you, but whereas set is an unordered collection which doesn't allow duplicate elements. That's the difference between list and set. So And set is, so we can store at most one null value in set, and set is implemented by hash set, linked hash set, and tree set classes. See that you can create object like this. Set in the Angular braces data type, s1 equal to new hash set data type, and this object you are creating for hash set class. Set, so Angular braces data type, s2 equal to new linked hash set, so data type parenthesis. So set data type, s3 equal to new tree set and data type. So this is the left side is your interface name, so set collection, and the generic type. So whatever the generic type you want, you can specify that generic type. So you are strictly telling, okay, you can store only this type of data in this collection, not so heterogeneous objects. So, but collection will accept heterogeneous and homogeneous objects. Both you can store. But if you use a generic concept, it will allow you to store only one type of data. That's a generic concept. Now, so this is the diagram. You can see here, set is extends to collection interface, and set is implemented in the hash set, linked hash set, and tree set classes. So that means all set methods and collection methods you have to implement in each of these classes. Hash set class you have to implement, linked hash set, and tree set class also need to implement. So that's the implementation of set collection in the different classes. So let's understand what is meant by hash set. So we have seen array list and linked list, right? So let's see set implemented classes means what? Hash set means what? So Java hash set class is used to create a collection that uses a hash table for storage. It uses a hash table for storing the objects. It inherits the abstract set class and implements the set interface. See that? So hash set class extends to abstract set class, and hash set is implementing the set interface. Now let's understand a few more points here. How hash set stores the elements. So please concentrate on this point. Hash set stores the elements by using a mechanism called hashing. What is meant by hashing? Hash code. So heap memory object. So heap memory address. That's called hashing. Hash code method is called, and that hash code, based on that, it will allocate memory in the heap memory. Hash set contains unique elements only. So set doesn't allow duplicate elements, right? So hash set contains unique elements. Hash set allows one null value. You can have one null value. Hash set class is non-synchronized. Hash set doesn't maintain the insertion order. It doesn't give you which order you inserted by hash set. Elements are inserted on the basis of their hash code only. So again, I'm repeating the point. How the elements are inserted into a set or hash set collection based on the hashing or hash code base. Hash set is the best approach for search operations. The initial default capacity of hash set is 16 and the load factor is 0.75. So once this 16 buckets are filled, and again the size will be increased. It will double the size. That's a hash set, how it will store the elements. But whereas array list stores the element based on the index, but hash set doesn't work based on the index. Please be clear on this. List and set collection both are different type of collection. So both you are going to use in the WebDriver. So I have given WebDriver methods. Some of them are return type methods which returns a list collection, and some WebDriver methods which returns set collection. So that means on the left side you have to write that set collection data type. Set collection name equal to right side WebDriver method you have to write, so that all the values objects will fetch stores in the set collection. But all those are generics, either set or list collection. Generics, it will return by the WebDriver methods. So make sure you understand these concepts, what is generics and what is list and what is set, interfaces and their implementing classes. So this is the hierarchy of HashSet class, and public class HashSet extends abstract set, implements set interface. That means HashSet class is implementing set interface, and if you're implementing a set interface means set interface is going to be having already collection methods and set methods. Both methods are implemented in this HashSet class. So it is used to construct a default HashSet, and these are the constructors. So you can use any one of them. HashSet int capacity, HashSet int capacity comma float load factor, HashSet collection square bracket. You can see, you can mention the collection name also. So you can initialize the HashSet by using the elements of collection also. Directly you can specify a group of elements in the parenthesis itself. HashSet class. So these are the methods. Add method, you know already we discussed that, right? Clear, clone, contains, is empty, iterator, remove, size, split iterator. So these are all the already collection methods we can use on the set collection. So what is meant by linked HashSet? Linked HashSet class represent the linked list implementation of the set interface. It extends the HashSet class and implements the set interface. So linked HashSet extends the HashSet class and implements the set interface. Then what is the difference between HashSet and linked HashSet? HashSet doesn't return the order. You insert an order, you won't get the elements. But linked HashSet, it contains unique elements like same as HashSet, but maintains the insertion order and permits null elements also. So that means linked HashSet returns to you insertion order. Which order they have inserted the elements, same order it will give it to you. But HashSet doesn't give you insertion order. Randomly it will give you. That's a HashSet. And what about tree set? Tree set class implements the set interface that uses a tree for storage. Like HashSet and tree set also contains unique elements because all are belongs to set. Set means unique elements. No duplicates will be allowed. Even if you insert also, it will return only one element, not duplicate elements. However, the access and retrieval time of tree set is quite fast than other two. So the elements in the tree set stored in ascending order. Automatically it will sort and it will give it to you. That's a tree set. So how to convert a set collection into list collection? So this is the one. You already have a set collection. Now I'm converting into list collection. So this is the syntax. List string or whatever the data type, and list collection name equal to new array list, and pass the collection set collection name. So this set collection you are converting into list collection. This is the one important formula. Convert a list collection into set collection. Okay, I have a list collection. I want to convert into set collection. How can you do that? You create object for set HashSet class. So set data type collection name equal to new HashSet. So data type list collection name you can specify. So that's the how to convert the list into set collection, set into list collection. These two formulas are important. In the real time you are going to use them. So now what is the difference between list and set? Very important points. All the interview questions, again I'm giving this. A list can contain duplicate elements, whereas set can contain only unique elements. List is ordered collection, whereas set is unordered collection. List elements can be accessed using index based, whereas set collection elements cannot be accessed using index. List is implemented by array list, linked list, vector classes, whereas set is implemented by HashSet, linked HashSet, and tree set class. Nice points, right? All are, if you can explain these 4 points, more than enough. Okay. So please read them thoroughly. It will help you in the interviews to clear the interview easily. So what is the difference between iterator interface and list iterator interface? Iterator can traverse in forward direction only, whereas list iterator can be used to traverse in both the directions, forward and backward direction. Also, you can iterate your list collection. List iterator inherits from iterator interface and comes with extra functions like adding an element, replacing an element, getting index position of for previous and next elements. That extra methods it is coming up, the list iterator. So we can use iterator interface to traverse list and set collections. Both you can traverse with iterator interface, whereas list iterator can be used only for list collection. That's the difference between iterator and list iterator. Okay, I have a collection, I created a collection, I inserted the elements. Then how can you iterate them? What are the different ways you can iterate? So here is the one. How to iterate a collection is either by iterator interface or iterator method. Iterator method you can use. This iterator method you can use and iterate the collection. So I already given this and I'm giving again one more time. So this iterator method return type is iterator interface, and that variable equal to collection name, because you already created a collection, inserted the elements, then you are using that collection name here dot iterator method. So through iterator method we are iterating our collection. Iterating means what? From first element to last element you are going one by one. That's iteration. So that's the iterator method is going to do that. And while it dot has next, if this it variable has an element, then fetch that element value. So to fetch that element value, you call the next method, it dot next. So this iterator method you can use for list collection as well as a set collection also. Clear? This is the first way to iterate your collection. Same code you are going to write, only change comes here. You'll just put your collection name there. Next, by for each loop. Second way is you can do iteration of your collection by for each loop. So what is the for each loop syntax? For bracket, data type, space, variable name, colon, and give a collection name. So this variable represents the each element of this collection. Automatically it will go to each element till last elements, and one by one it will iterate. That's a second way to iterate your collection is using for each loop. And third one is normal for loop. You can use the normal for loop only for list collection. So these two you can use for list and set, both collections. But normal for loop can be used only for list collection. Why you cannot use for a set collection? Because set doesn't work based on the index. Because here you are specifying the index number. That's why you cannot use this normal for loop for set collection to iterate the elements. And for bracket, initialization, semicolon, condition, semicolon, increment or decrement, and statements or logic you can use. That's the collections how to iterate. So these are the three ways you can iterate your collections. Let's move on to create the collections so that we can get some familiarity how to create a collections, how to insert the elements. All the methods I'm going to call one by one. So let's see this programs. So if you read only, will understand multiple times. You can explain in the interviews. Otherwise, it's not possible. So we are finishing the Java. So who are ready, let me know. I'll take a mock interview on Java. So just ping me, I'm ready. Can you ask a mock interview for Java? So then we'll see that where you are. If you are not trying that, if you're not pinging, I cannot come and ask, right? So let me know once you are ready. I'll so arrange a mock interview for you. So you can test yourself where you are, how you are explaining. I'll help you there. So right click class, and I'll create a package also here. So I'll write here collection programs, and I'm giving a first list demo. So list collection I'm explaining. So this is the one, right? Okay. So we created a one class in the collection programs package. Now I want to create a collection list collection. I'll create with without generic. So without generics means what is the syntax and interface. So collection name, collection variable, basically collection variable equal to new implemented class. So this is the syntax, right? I have given in the interface time this syntax. Now interface is, my interface is a list, and AL collection new array list. So this is already made, already created by Java. We're just calling them here. That's it. But why it is throwing error?
Java.util you need to import.
So Java.util we need to import. Super. See that. So because other package classes and interfaces you are using here, that means you have to import single concept, right? So import it. See that we imported that. So all this collection classes and interfaces are available in this package Java.util. Remember, no other packages. So you should not import other packages here. Now array list also it is asking to import. So import both. The list is a interface, array list is a class. In this class, this list methods are implemented. Now my collection is ready. So creation, non-generic format. This is called non-generic format. We created a collection. This is how to create a collection. Interface, the collection variable equal to new array list. So now AL is the collection name or collection variable. So this object, array list object, is stored in this AL. Now, so let's find out the size of the collection. First method itself I am calling size method. So AL collection size is. So how can you call? It's a return type method. AL dot size method. So I can call directly in the print method, right? Return type methods. See that? It returns the integer type of data, and I'll print the collection also. AL collection. So elements. So now no elements, right? You can call directly collection name. It will print because those are objects. It will print. So in the square bracket, it will show all the elements. So execute that. See 0 elements. That's why collection is empty. So now you can check the is empty method, whether the collection is empty or not. You will get a true. So is empty method you call on the collection. It returns boolean value, right? So boolean b equal to al dot is empty method. So is empty is going to check whether your collection is empty or not. Checking al collection is empty or not plus b. So just click on run button, and you can see you're going to get a true value because it's empty now. Okay, now I'll add. So here I used the size method. All the methods I'm showing you. Size method and is empty method I have used. Now I'm going to use add method. So you can add the objects. You can add directly you can add the object to this collection inside. Add method has two formats, right? One is you can store directly element. Another one is you can store elements in the index based. Both you can do that. That's this add method. So add method directly element E you can store, or so add int index comma element E you can store. Element means a data type. That's it. It's a generic. So just one type. So element it can be any type of object, right? That's why, because we didn't specify the now any data type here. Now what is the data type of your collection?
Object.
Object is the data type. So any object you can store. First I'll store al dot add method. See that add method object element. See add method int index object element. So any one method you can use, because this is coming from list and this is coming from collection interface. Okay, so I will use both the methods so that you can understand. So Java object I stored. Okay, so next, so al dot add So another object I will store. I'm storing true value. So AL dot, now I want to move, see that I'm going to use this one, int index object element. I want to push this element, whatever I'm inserting here, to second place. Second place means what? 1, right? Now this is in 0 index and this is in 1 index. So I'll give 1. So now what will happen? Whatever the value you are giving here, so that will go and store here, and shifting takes place here. Forcefully, this Ruby will place in the second place and this will move to third. That's the index is going to be given much priority. And then, so this is the how index based method will work and how this only directly object will work. So next, al dot add. I want to add index based. I don't want normal element. I will add. So you can specify elements directly. You can objects, right? You can specify 150. I can specify numbers dot add. I can specify floats also. Float also I can specify. I can insert the duplicate elements also. So I can specify the duplicate elements. See that I'll mention Java one more time. So duplicate elements also be added. This is the all add method demo. So why you will use add method? To insert the elements into collection. Any collection, if you want to insert the element, use add. Add method is used to insert the elements into the collection. Now your collection has all these methods in the same insertion order. So I told you list going to return insertion order. First, which element you inserted? Java. Java will come. But here, first index Ruby will insert and true will go to third position. So first priority will given for index and it will go here, then third place the boolean value, then next place same order it will be maintained. So that is the how your collection will be taken care. Now, so this is the one. Let's call these two things again, collection and size and print them. So how it will disturb, how it will show, you can see. So AL collection size after add method, AL collection elements after add method. Now execute that. See collection size, if you want to know, you have to call always size method. See 6 elements are there. See which order you inserted, same order it is maintaining. First Java, so Java is showing. Second place Ruby, you moved that to Ruby based on the index. Then true, then 150, then 3.5, then Java. See duplicate elements are allowed. List collection allows duplicate elements, and list collection is returning in the insertion order. So the same points I discussed, I'm proving here practically. So 3 methods demo is done now. So the next one, add all method. So add all method, you can add the collection. Collection C. Collection C means a collection of elements you can insert at a time. And this add method is used to join the two collections. So that means in this method parenthesis, you can give another group of elements. That's a single unit of group of objects, right? That's a collection means. You can give another group of elements with this add all method. So let's do that. Al dot, Al is our collection name, add all method. So automatically it will go in the back and at the end of this element, whatever the elements you are adding, all will go and inserted here at the end of your collection. Whatever collection you already have, end it will insert. So I want to specify a collection of elements. A collection of elements I can specify using ArrayList class. Sorry, arrays class. So arrays class method is there as list method. As list method and specify all the list of elements. So this is the one I'm going to use. So arrays dot as list method. See as list method. So the T is the type. So T is the type of parameter. So T is the class of objects in the array. So you can specify what type of elements you can specify. All types you can specify. Suppose I can specify. So Ruby one more time, Python one more time, and I can specify 25, and I can specify false. I can specify a character also. So this is a group of elements you can specify at a time. This is the collection of elements. So how can you specify that? Using arrays class and that static method as list method. Arrays class we discussed it already in the arrays time, I think. So arrays class has in the even string methods also we discussed it, right? Arrays dot sort, well, anagram program while doing arrays dot sort, arrays dot equals method, we use both of them. So now you see the number of elements and what is the size, and print that. Just call these methods size method and print that AL collection. So now collection will be increased now. See, you can grow the collection at runtime, you can decrease also. Both expansion, collapsion, both will happen. That's a collection. It's a dynamic kind of thing, dynamic data structure. It's not like array, right? Array you have to fix the size. Here you don't need to fix the size here. See, we are not specifying the collection size here. We are not specifying the size here. It's a dynamic. How many you want you can store, how many you want you can decrease. It's all up to you. So collection size after add all method. So collection elements after add all method. So now you see that is the size is you added a few more elements. That's why 11 elements, 5 elements you added, and 6 plus 5, 11. See, Java, Ruby, true, and again Java, Ruby is there, Python 25, false, A. So these are all the 11 elements are there in your collection. Okay. So we understand add method in the two formats, add all method in the two formats we understood. Now let's go and understand remove method. So remove method. So what this remove method will do? Remove method will do deletion of the given element. So it deletes the given element from collection. What is our collection? AL dot, so remove. So you give int index, which index element you want to remove. So I want to remove first index element, I want to remove. Now you call the AL collection size after remove method. After remove method, what are the elements are there? So in the first index, whatever the element is there, that you are removing. So let's see whether it is there or not. Will it delete the duplicate elements? No. Only first place, whatever is there, that removed. But second duplicate element is there already. Right? It works based on the index. Only you specified the index number. Okay, first place, whatever the value is there, that you remove, you are saying. That's why that element is removed. See that? And then shifting takes place. So because here Ruby is there and here we are removing that Ruby, and the size before remove it was 11, now the size is 10, and all the shifting takes place. This is moved, right? Removed, and all true is moved to first place, and then all our shifting takes place. All the memory shifting takes place towards left side. So that's this remove method, how it works. Next, remove all. Remove all. What this remove all will do? Remove all collection. See, so it removes the specified elements from the collection. It removes and it deletes. It deletes the specified elements from collection. How many you specify, that many elements you can delete from the collection with this remove all method. So let me delete few elements. AL dot remove all. Remove all. There is a remove all method. You can call this. So how can you specify your collection of elements? Again, use arrays class dot as list method. So and specify all your elements one by one. Which are elements you want to delete? So I want to delete. So Ruby. So I want to delete false. Sorry, false. So I want to delete 25. and these are the elements I want to delete. 3 elements I want to delete. Then what is the collection? What is the collection size? In out of 10, if you delete 3, the size will become 7. So after remove all, so what is the collection size and what is the collection thing? See that? See, 7 are there. Now this Ruby is gone, false is gone, and 25 is gone. So these two I remove, and this Ruby also I remove. So only left now Java true 153.5, Java duplicate elements still there, Python A. These are the elements you have in your collection. So that's a remove all, add all methods demo. Next we have contains method. So contains method, it just checks the element, it searches, it performs search in the collection. If it is there, returns true, else false. It returns false. So boolean value it returns. So boolean b1 equal to al dot contains. So contains all is there, contains is there. So I'm using contains. Contains all means again a group of elements you want to verify at a time. You can use contains all. Otherwise contains you can use. See contains, I want to check particular element is present or not. So I want to see Java is present or not, right? So it returns checking Java element is present in collection using contains method plus b1. See that? So that's the values it returns. See that? You will get a true value you're going to get. Okay, that is the one option. Next, so there is another method, equals method. Boolean methods all I'm calling equals method. So equals method, you specify the objects. So object element. So compares given element with collection element. So then how can you get the collection element? How can you get the list collection element? So how can you get it? So which method you need to use? Which method you will use to get the collection element? So get of int index. So this method you have to use. On that index it will get. So now al dot, so al dot equals method. Okay, and first you give the get method, get of, so index, you specify index. I'll give 0 index. Java is there, right? That you are comparing. This is the element now. Now you got a Java you are comparing with, so which element? So I'll compare with the Java only, then you can see both are same or not. So this returns a boolean value. So boolean b2. So it's a return type method. That's why we are calling like that. Suppose if I give a different, let's do first a print statement comparing collection first element with the Java using equals method. So even you can use hash code method also to find the address of that element. Okay, you can do that also. See, I can do the same thing a negative way. That means in the first place you have this Java, this will give you Java, and I'll check with the Ruby. Okay, so Ruby is there or not? Comparing collection first elements. Oh, FI typo. So with Ruby using equals method, and this is B3. So just print that. See that? So one is, these two are same. That's why you're getting a true, and first element and Ruby is not same. That's why false you're getting, right? So that's all about the progress. Still a lot of methods are there. We'll explore in the next class.